Well, this will be covering episode 22, Hostage Crisis, which I have to admit isn't that good of an episode. You have something going on that could probably cover 2 or 3 episodes, and they cram it down to one episode. Yeah, there's a storm going on outside, so take what you get, I guess. But it's just sort of mind-numbing in a way that we have a plot that's about taking senators hostage, yet it's done in 1 episode. Just released Gardola the Hutt, or I'm sorry, Zero the Hutt. Gardola was some rival of Jabba the Hutt. Getting my Wikipedia facts confused now. Yes, they freed Zero the Hutt. So yes, we have bounty hunters capturing senators in order to use them as bargaining chips to free Zero, because Zero offered them a lot of money, obviously. Though how much money Zero really has access to, I don't know. Then again, the Hutts are well-known gangsters for the most part, so he's probably got some stored away somewhere, or some of the other Hutts may have offered to help pay for his way out, for all I know. The Hutts tend to stick together, I guess. Despite constantly trying to undermine each other, they don't like it when other people interfere with their games, I guess. Sort of like maybe real mafia bosses, I don't know. So it's just not very interesting. There's so much happening so quickly that it just sort of becomes mind-numbing and almost boring, because you don't expect Anakin to win. I mean, he's fighting without his lightsaber most of the episode because he left it with Padme, and it is some sort of evidence of his love for her is greater than his sense of duty and attachment to the Jedi Order. I guess it shows that Anakin's always been too attached to people to really be a stoic Jedi, but it's not his attachment to people that bugs me. It's his complete resentment, it seems, almost of his duty, as if in fact it has things that supersede his own emotions or wants and desires, is frustrating to him in the extreme. It makes you wonder why he stayed in the Jedi Order as long as he did, because it's obvious in many ways that he just doesn't really belong, chosen one or not. He just doesn't have the mindset of a Jedi, really. But I guess this is meant to represent the fact that during the original Clone Wars series that they promoted Anakin to a knight before he passed all of his trials, skipping over one on the grounds of his combat abilities alone, it seems like, basically. And while Anakin's definitely a great general from the way we get presented with him in the series so far, a very unconventional Jedi general maybe, but a very successful one. Maybe almost unbelievably so, considering he tends to go with rather bold strategies and stratagems, I guess I should say. His tactics are very questionable because they seem to be highly aggressive, almost to the point it makes you wonder why Obi-Wan and the other Jedi have never called him on it. How he's so heavily based around being the first to score a blow or the first to hit the target. Like, he's very, very offense-oriented, to the point where he basically just ignores defense. He doesn't care about defending his position so much as taking the enemies, which might mean that Anakin gets lots of his men killed with his aggressive strategies. Then again, considering the clones are basically disposable people, and a slave race, I guess they're not really meant to care about how many of them die, because they're just clones, right? It's not like they're real people here. They're clones. Which sort of makes the war itself distasteful on the Republic side, considering they're using the clones, like I said. But that's going back a couple episodes, when we actually had a clone bring this up himself. As far as this episode, it's really just meant to be an introduction to the next season, which was meant to be Rise of the Mercenaries. I should say is Rise of the Mercenaries, and tends to cover more stories around Cad Bane and other bounty hunters and their role in this war. We've spent time with the Jedi and the Separatists. Now we want to focus on a third party that has influence in the outcome of the conflict. Bounty hunters, highly skilled warriors for hire, and they will work for just about anyone if the price is right. As we will see, they're quite dangerous, but I don't think I'll be covering Season 2 anytime soon. Not too many people actually watch this series of videos, to be honest, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone really cares about my opinion on Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes, because I tend to have such a mixed ups and downs opinion instead of being completely negative. I guess maybe denouncing stuff, or maybe it's because I rant too much. Early on I was very difficult getting to anything meaningful. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, this episode's a skip really. It helps introduce the mercenaries that we'll be probably seeing the most of, but I can't say it really gives us anything useful about them in terms of personality, other than showing us that how competent they are when they apparently know everything about their target ahead of time. And quite frankly, the amount of knowledge they have definitely shows that they had inside information, but not showing them getting that information or planning their attack sort of undermines the episode because there's no buildup of tension or seeing them succeed. I guess you could argue they're the bad guys. We don't really want them to succeed, but I think those are important aspects to show in an episode like this, and we don't really get that. Instead, we see see their plan unfold as they do it, but it's not as interesting as watching them put it together. Take it as you will, but like I said, I wouldn't really recommend watching this episode. It's a skippable one in my opinion. Just move on to season 2 and get some of the better episodes that involve the mercenaries if you really want to see them at work. As far as this one goes, pass. For that, with that said, I am done for probably about a year on this series. Maybe I'll come back to it in May of 2015. Maybe. Not sure, but it's a possibility.